GD Vacarja for Gate Falcha, welcome back. Michal here from Grinds 360. A lovely short video for you today, very quick. We're going on to verse 3 in Ghrá-sa by Nuala Ní Dhomhnaill. So verse 1, we're told he's not looking. Verse 2, we're told he's not good looking. And verse 3, we're going to be told, again, unfortunately, he is not very good looking. So let's get you started and finished with this video, the notes. So we're going to go for this first part here, Cursius Mogul. Mogul is the word for joking or mocking. So Cursius Mogul, a joking description and mocking description. And the first part, Déanann an File, the poet makes. So Déanann an File, the poet makes a Cursius Mogul, a joking description. But what does she make a joking description of? In verse 3, his eyes. Thuaille on the eyes of the man. Smuoinnig an seanna. Now I've got this thing here for you, right? An seanna just means the old phrase or cliche. It can translate as cliche as well. An seanna, the cliche. So smuoinnig think about an seanna, the old cliche. Sanam Shahui Heart, I've used that already in video number 1 for you. Sanam Shahui Heart, in times gone by. Think of the cliche in times gone by. And what cliche have we got? What cringe moment have we got from poetry? Sula Donamora, where your partner has beautiful brown eyes. Or Sula Gurma Galanta, beautiful blue eyes. Galanta, the word for beautiful. So that's the kind of the cliche. And the other cliche you have in poetry is the eyes are the window to the soul. And when I look in your eyes, I could get lost looking into your eyes. They're all cliches. They're all kind of cringe moments. So think about those expressions. Nuala Ní Dhomhnaill is not going to jump on the bandwagon. Nuala Ní Dhomhnaill is completely different. She's going to go, do you know what? His eyes are not great either, folks. So Sadan Shah, in this poem, Idir an File, the poet says, so Idir an File, the poet says, Nach ein druch sruh dríagdúil iad, that they are no magical stream. They're not something that she could look into. So nach ein sruh dríagdúil. Dríagdúil comes from the word magical, dríagdúil. So they're not a magical stream, and sruh is the word for a stream or a small river. So she can't look into his eyes. So that's exactly what we want to say. Ní féidir leis an bhile. The poet cannot. The poet is not able. And then fécant isteach ina thuaille. To look. It's an infinitive. So to look into his eyes. And that is the exact same structure as English. Fécant, to look, isteach into a thuaille, his eyes. Now why can't she look at his eyes? This is awful. Rógar dá chéile. Too close to each other. So she tells us, she tells us, go will siad, that they are. So go will siad, that they are, rógar dá chéile, too close to each other. So she can't look into his eyes, she can't get lost looking into them. We've came across this verb a couple of times already in the class. Treisín reinforces, re-strengthens or strengthens. So Treisín na Lúibíní, the brackets strengthen, and they strengthen Teachtracht in Bheannach an Uile. Will you put a line underneath this? I think this would be great to put into an examiner's lap. Basically, Teachtracht is the word for a message. In Bheannach means internal. So Teachtracht in Bheannach an Uile, the internal message of the poet. Ghrá-sa an dulcias. I love this phrase. Okay, bear with me for a second. I'm gonna nerd out here, folks, with you, right? Let's go for this part. Curran an Ghrá-sa an dara dulcias no tríosis. Right, I'm gonna go for this. Have a look at your notes there for your screen for 1 second, right? See that curran in úl that we have here? So curran in úl. And that's the middle part. Curran in úl means it presents us with something. So it presents us with something. So Curran an Ghrá-sa an gcéad dulcias in úl. The phrase presents us instantly. So when she uses the phrase an gcéad dulcias, first of all, that tells us that there is a dara dulcias, that there's a second of all, and that there is a third of all, gúil an tríú dulcias am. So Nuala Ní Dhomhnaill says, I don't like his eyes, first of all. And that lets us believe that because she says the word first of all, there's a second of all, there's a third of all, there's a fourth of all. So Nuala Ní Dhomhnaill has in fact made a list, if you want to look at it this way, she's made a list of all the things she finds unattractive about her husband and has decided to publish it on a Leaving Cert paper for 60,000 students to read every single year. So the fact, she says, first of all, implies the existence of a second of all, Idir Lúibíní, and it implies the existence of a Tríú Lúibíní, a third of all as well. So Niv sa rachis, Niv means venom, hatred or poison. Niv sa rachis, hatred in the statement. And the first part here, Hilha, you would think. So Hilha, you would think, go will niv, that there is hatred sarachus in the statement. And the word dualduck just means negative. You can leave it in, you can take it out, it doesn't really make a difference, because that niv, N-I-V-N-I-M-H, that's the most important thing that we're going to get in for the examiners there. So you would think that there is venom in the statement, but avolurch, atá fear. The opposite is true. So avolurch, atá fear. The opposite is true. Israchus redul makanta e. Now, makanta, honest, redul, realistic, and rachus, statement. It's an honest, realistic statement that she's made. Now, that's the verse done about his eyes and how unattractive his eyes are. Why don't you follow me over for another very, very quick video, 5-6 minutes max, and we'll get you done with verse number 4. A charge, go to Slán Inish.